Right now, humanity possesses the highest standard of living, physical safety, and technological convenience we have ever recorded. But the data reveals a sharp paradox. As the line representing global living standards continues a steep upward trajectory, it intersects with a second line, self-reported human happiness, which is trending downward. This emotional deficit is difficult to explain through external factors. For the first time in history, our basic survival needs are met with more efficiency than ever before. Since our external conditions are at an all-time high, the loss of joy appears to be coming from an internal, invisible leak. There is a specific observation about this leak. The greatest thief of joy is comparing yourself to the chamuk-tamuk, the glamorous lives of others. From a logical standpoint, we know that someone else's highlight reel should have no impact on our own baseline. One person's success does not objectively subtract from another's reality, yet most people find it nearly impossible to observe a highly curated, glamorous lifestyle without experiencing a sudden, involuntary sinking feeling of inadequacy. This reaction isn't a character flaw or a lack of discipline. It is a biological response triggered by human hardware that was designed for a different world. To understand this, we have to look at the environment where our brains were formed. For early humans in small tribes, fitting in with the group was a prerequisite for survival. This created the basis for social comparison theory. Gauging your social standing was a critical tool. It allowed an individual to monitor their value to the tribe and avoid being exiled. This diagram illustrates the process. The brain constantly monitors surrounding peers, automatically measuring your value against the group average. When the brain counterrates you are in step with the tribe, it confirms you are safe, resulting in a sense of security and contentment. We are currently running this survival software, which was optimized for a 15-person tribe, in a boundless, hyper-connected modern environment. Our brains have moved from comparing our status to a few dozen local neighbors to measuring ourselves against a global digital stream. This glamorous life we see online is a highly produced, digitally altered version of reality. It is a series of isolated peaks, not a representation of a daily human existence. This graphic shows the disconnect. On the left is the fluctuating wave of an actual 24-hour day. On the right is a single, isolated peak extracted from that wave and amplified to serve as a highlight. The evolutionary hardware is being fed distorted data. The brain is attempting to find parity with a standard of living that does not exist in nature. When we view this artificial glamour, it triggers a process known as upward social comparison. The primitive brain registers digital glamour as the new tribal baseline. The perceived status requirement shoots up exponentially, leaving our actual status far behind. Perceiving this low standing, the brain's reward centers respond by rapidly decreasing mood-regulating chemicals like serotonin. This neurochemical drop is what creates that hollow feeling of inadequacy. It is the mechanism that actively siphons away your joy. You cannot lose a status competition to an opponent that is manufactured. If the benchmark isn't real, the comparison is mathematically void. To exit this loop, psychologists suggest a shift to temporal comparison. It is a method designed to measure progress without triggering the status threat response. This timeline illustrates the shift. Instead of measuring against external nodes, the focus is placed exclusively on the trajectory between your past self and your current self. By using our own history as the benchmark, we stop providing the brain with the high-status illusions that trigger a stress response. Returning to the opening quote, "This thief only has power if we allow external curation to set our internal standards." This requires an audit of our digital environments. By refusing to measure unedited reality against a highlight reel, we protect our baseline of happiness. When we treat digital glamour as a biological illusion rather than a social standard, the comparison glitch loses its ability to affect us.